In this session, we're going to see an introduction to strings. So what are strings? Strings is a set of characters, and the syntax for declaring a string, the initialization, and the uses. The char data type is declared as a character under single quotes. So if you're going to type, say, 7 characters, all the 7 characters are typed in single quotes, and that's going to be a tedious task for the programmer. But in string, an entire set of characters can be passed as just one value within double quotes, and that's why string is much better than a character. There are 2 classes to represent strings. One is the string and the other is the string buffer. Now, this is how you declare a string. You type the word string in caps because string is a class, and the name of the variable. The string is not only a class, but it can also be used as a variable. The example, string A. You can also declare it like this or initialize it like this. You give string and a variable name, and you can give a set of characters within the double quotes. This is one way of initializing. Or you can give a string or create an object for the string class by creating new string and give an entire set of characters within the double quotes. As you see in the examples, like say string A is equal to Prithviraj or string B equal to new string of. Within quotes, you just pass your string variable. Sometimes you might have to convert your character to string. So how do you do it? Now if you see character C and it's in an array, APPLET has been passed in single quotes, so each and every character belongs to the character array C. Now if I have to convert these to a string, then I pass the variable as string S is equal to, I create an object, I pass the name of the object, that is the typecasting object, that is C, and 1 to 3 characters is what I'm going to print. Now if the index of the first variable is 0, then that is 0, P is 1, the next P is 2, and L is 3. Therefore 0, 1 to 3 characters will be printed, which will be PPL as given on the side. And when you're changing or converting a string to character, this is how you do it. You have to typecast by writing the word S.to character array, which means a string is being converted into a character array, and henceforth what you'll have to do is you'll have to write this particular keyword, and now this is going to occupy a lot of memory space. So to avoid that, we use strings. In fact, we've been speaking about characters, char and the strings in the entire session, and whatever I've been speaking about strings are the uses of strings in fact, rather than properties. Immutability, it cannot be converted to any other data type. String is a class, so you can create an object, but for the others you need a wrapper class to convert objects, to convert your data types into objects. But string in itself is a class, therefore you can directly create an object. You don't need a wrapper class, and the memory allocation is easy because the string is just takes one whole set of memory space. Therefore it's easier to retrieve a string data from the memory. In this session, we just saw what strings were, their syntax, how to initialize them, and of course some of the uses, and the entire chapter in fact spoke about the uses of strings which you need to know. Now let's see some sample programs on strings. I'd like to remind you that these programs that I'm going to show you has not used any kind of predefined functions from strings, and I'm going to show you a program wherein I'm going to reverse a string without using a reverse function. So let's see how we do it. Now there is a class called rever, and the main method. As you can see, the string, I've created an array, a string array with a variable name AR, and inside, if you see, I've created two variables, F and K, of the type integer, and I've assigned values of 0 for both these variables. Now, string S is a declaration of a string which is equal to AR of 0. So the first index is going to be the first word that I'm going to give. So I'm going to give a command line argument. I'm just going to type a word after I type the Java program, and now I'm printing yes as it is. Now just let me check and say, if suppose the word is hello. Now this is the word that I'm going to type in my command line argument. I'm going to convert the character, the string hello, as a character array. So char C, I have declared C as a character array, and I've converted the string as a character array. Now let me just type it like this, with values of, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values or 5 letters, but with an index of 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now I have another character C1, and in that I am passing the s dot length, or in other words, the s dot length is 5. I am passing 5 as the character C1, therefore C1 now will have an array size of 5. In other words, I am not typing 5 here because I don't know what I am going to type in my command line argument. So the s dot length is the size of the array of C1. There is another integer n which is going to be the length of s. So if 5 is the length, now s dot length will be equal to 5. Now I am writing a for loop, and in this, if you see, I have initiated I as n minus 1. So here n is 5, therefore n minus 1 is 4. Therefore this program should read as I equal to n minus 1, which is 4, right? I is equal to n minus 1, and I should be greater than equal to 0. Therefore now 4 is greater than equal to 0, and the last line you see, I have decremented the value of I. Therefore from 4 it will go to 3, 2, 1 and 0. Now what I am trying to do is, once it reads the first character, now this is in the 4th index, since 4 is greater than 0, and now the C1 of K, now the K value is 0 over here, so C1 of 0 will be the C of I. What is the value of I? 4, and the index of I over here is O, therefore C1 of the first array K will be 0, O, and therefore the first letter will be O over here. And then I am going to increment K++, which means I'll come to the next position. Now I'll come into the for loop once again. Now integer n minus 1 will increase to n minus 2, which will be 5 minus 1 with 5 minus 2, which will be 3, and therefore now this is greater than 0, and once again now 3 will become 2, and once again the next letter, that is L, will be printed over here. The same way, when the loop goes on, it will read like this. Right? That is what I have done over here. Now I am going to print the reverse string S1, because this is how the C1 from 0 to C1 dot length, that is the complete 5 characters which I have done here, is going to be added. So I'm going to add the complete value, and I'm converting the character into a string now. Therefore now S1 will read as OLLEH. After doing that, I'm printing the reversed string. Now, in this program, I have included another for program. In this for loop, I have once again taken the c.length and I have incremented I++. For every character of c of I, if it is equal to c1 of I, that is the reversed character, and I increase the f++. And now I'll check if it is a palindrome, that is if c of I is equal to c1 of I, then it says that it is a palindrome, and if f is equal to n, then it is a palindrome. If not, then it is not a palindrome. So shall we compile this program and see how it runs? But before I compile, let me delete these values which I just wrote in the program. Now we'll compile the program. Java C river.java. Yes. Now I will type a letter, a string hello, and it says the original string is hello, the reverse string is OLLEH as I showed you, and it will check if it's a palindrome, and now it says it's not a palindrome. Now let me run the same program, but instead of hello, let me put the same word, and now if you see that this particular word river is a palindrome. So this is how this program works, and I've used this without using the reverse function, the string buffer, which we'll see later on. The next program, and in this if you see, I have included a class remove and the main method. Here I have thrown an exception here because I am going to use data input stream which we've seen earlier. Now if you see, I have initialized an integer x as 0. I have given a string yes as welcome, and how many characters are there in welcome? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 characters, right? Now I am converting this string welcome to a character array. Now through the data input stream, I am getting the input from the user, and I am asking him to enter an index value. The index value should be between 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it can be the index value should be 0 to 6. So once I do that, if the user gives this value, now the character has been changed to character array. Now I've got the index value. Now if you see, I'm using int index, another variable of the type integer, and I'm taking index as the value that is being given by the user. Now in this, now let me just check and write, maybe let the user give an index value of 2. Now if the index value is 2 as given here, let's see how the program works. Now for int I is equal to 0, I less than c dot length. For I, int I is equal to 0, I less than c dot length. So what is c dot length over here? It is 7, right? The value is 7. Now since 0 is less than 7, the value will take 1. Now it will check if index, the index value is what? The value that we have given here. If I is equal to the index value. Now the index value is 2, but the I value is now 0. Since it is 0, I am setting a flag wherein x will be equal to 1. Now what happens is, here since this value index is not equal to 1, I have set a flag here, and what I have done is I have given a continue statement. So I don't have to, even if this index, the condition has turned out to be false, I have said that program can continue. Therefore now it will print the character of C.I position. In this example, it will be W, and W will be printed. As you can see, W will be printed. Now it will go back into the loop. I takes the value of 1. Now the index is 2, I is 1, it is not equal. So X will get a value of 1, and once again it will continue. The system.println, now it will print E. In the third instance, now I takes the value of 2. Index is equal to 2. Therefore, it will go back into the loop because of this continue. It will go back into the loop and it will not print L, but instead it will then start printing COME, wherein L will not be printed. So this is how the program runs. So whatever I have done is there is what you call a function, a predefined function, which is remove index, remove caret. Now I have not used that function at all, but using this flag of X is equal to 1 and this continue statement, what I have done is I have simply removed a letter and I have printed the rest of the letters. But suppose I have a data value, an index value of something more than 6, which is 7 or 8, then X will be equal to 0 automatically, and you will get the out of range error which will be printed on your screen. It will just say it's out of range, which is not an error, which is an exception, but a small error which we pass to the user, which is user defined error message that we give to the user. Now shall we just run this program and check how it runs. So Java C remove.java. As you know, since I've used data input stream, it is asking for a deprecated. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to run the program. It says enter the index. Now as I said, if I give the index value 2, then as I told, L will not be printed. The same way, if suppose I give an index value of 5, you can see that M is not printed. And suppose I give an index value of 8, it will simply say out of range. But the entire characters are printed because it is out of range. X is still equal to 0, therefore the entire welcome message is printed, but the index as out of range will be shown to you. So I hope you've understood this program. So till such time we meet again with a lot more programs, I'd like to say goodbye and thank you.